Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Sam. I'm, as it was said, the Director of Organizational Development at Rewiring America. We're a relatively new organization. We're about three and a half years old. I've been with the organization for 2.5, which is an old timer. But really, I think that's partially why I'm up here talking to everybody today. So we are a federal organization, or national, not federal, I guess also federal, a national organization focused on all things electrification. And so we just happen to be based in Portland, hang out with y'all today, but we work across the entire country, kind of at the nexus of policy and I was saying this a lot earlier, and policy and production and manufacturers, but also consumers, consumer awareness. And so what we do is work with policymakers at the federal, state, municipal, local levels to make electrification easier for folks of all incomes and situations, which is partially what we're going to talk about today. But we also work with manufacturers to help build demand, help folks understand like what's available, what they can make, both in the private market and then for everybody else. And of course, educating folks such as yourselves and people around the country so that they know what incentives are available, what electrification is, so that they can go ahead and electrify their homes in all sorts of ways. Before I start talking about Personal Electrification Planner, just wanted to note that this is the 2-year anniversary of the Inflation Reduction Act. That was the bill that really allows this to all happen. And so we have worked super closely with folks in DC and across the country to make sure that this is available to everyone and anyone who wants to do this work. In a recent press release that we put out, I saw that 3.4 million households applied for these rebates through the IRA, which is more than double the projections that the federal government was expecting, which really shows, hey, people want this. And so we're super excited that that is the case. And then just kind of thinking towards the future, a lot of our work and a lot of what Tomara is going to be talking about really is centered on making this accessible for everyone. Again, I probably said that 5 times already. But so making sure that folks have the financing available, make sure that they have the materials available, making sure that contractors are educated on bringing electrification to folks. And so I think, as part of our work, we have our open API of all of the research and relationships and everything that we've been working on behind the scenes, and also for everybody else to see. It's not that behind the scenes, to be honest. So that we know what's going on. And so that open API really is available to businesses, organizations, pretty much anybody that wants to electrify, know what's available for folks and things like that. So I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Tomara to talk a little bit about Personal Electrification Planner and what y'all can expect as part of this, and then we'll probably do a little Q&A, I imagine. So yeah, cool. I'm going to pass it over.
All right, so yeah, I'm Tomara. I'm a software developer, and basically what we're working on are just tools that everyday people can use to sort of get information and understand what benefits and what incentives might be out there and available to them, because it's always changing all the time and it's hard to keep track of everything. And even if you know about a benefit, you may not have all of the information of like how you actually receive it or what you need, processes that you need to do to make sure that you track everything and document everything to get your benefits. So if you go over to our website, thank you, rewiringamerica.org and /calculator, you'll see this page here, and we just need a couple of little bits of information from you. If you're a homeowner, a renter, your zip code, your filing tax bracket, and then based on that information, we are able to sort of give you a personalized and customized projects that you might be able to do and maybe have some benefits that are available to you. So I entered my own information, and this is a great starting point if you don't know what is out there, like what can we electrify. There's a whole list of projects that I'm able to do. There's battery storage, clothes dryer, cooking, and et cetera, et cetera. And then on the side here, you can see how many different rebates or options there might be available. So if you were to click into some of these, I clicked in solar. There's a 30% cost of rooftop tax credit. So then if I go into learn more, I can get all of the information on what I need to do to actually be able to collect that. And then one more result I put up here was for weatherization. There's actually 4 different options for me. You can get, there's 2 other tax credits here. There's also like upfront discounts that are available, and we also have like the ranges in which you can actually collect them. So this would be over in 2025. And yeah, so if you click over to learn more, you'll see all the information on what you need to do to grab those. And then taking it one step further, another tool that I work on is the personal electrification plan. So this is just our calculator. Anyone can just go on and enter their information. But if you'd like to save a profile with us and get updates, you can start a profile. It'll make a list of like projects, and you can click them off as you complete them, or as there may be projects that you don't want to do, just get rid of those. And then anytime there's anything that's being updated, new tax credits or anything like that, will notify you on your profile. And yeah, then we also have other things, other tools. There's a contractor network, so if you put in your information, you can see what contractors are around in the area. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much the tools. We have a lot more tools coming in 2025 that we are really excited to roll out for surrounding the GGRF program and some new incentives. So yeah, I'm excited to be able to share those things in the future. But we'll be here for questions.
What's GGRF?
Oh, great question. GGRF is the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, and so that was something that the EPA offered last year into this year. It was a lot of funding. I think part of our network, Power Forward Communities, is a coalition that we're working with. United Way and a number of other groups. We were awarded $2 billion as part of that, not just us, the whole coalition, to go and actually make this happen in low and middle income communities across the country. And so we have a number of demonstration projects across the country where we are literally on the ground, making sure that manufacturers have supplies and things available, and working with local contractors and community organizations, much like the folks in the room here, as well as all sorts of other folks, environmental justice organizations that are doing work on the ground, so that we can actually go ahead and install these things for folks that may not otherwise be able to afford it. I think that just looking at this and the amazing tools that we built, you may kind of notice, they look pretty straightforward, and that's very, very intentional. I'm sure anybody who has gone through this journey in any way or started to explore this journey, it is complicated. There's local incentives, there's state incentives, there's national incentives. Where do I go? What do I do? What is the right technology that I need? Am I getting the right thing for my house? Am I getting the right thing for my family? Will I actually get those tax credits? We all have those questions. I'm a renter. I don't, what is available to me? I can't go ahead and install a brand new oven. I don't think my landlord would love that. And so, so how do we make it as simple as possible for folks to actually access this information, really remove the curtain behind what's going on, so that we can go ahead actually go do it and make it happen so that we are electrifying for everyone.
What do you advise people who have a home that's really relatively new, maybe 3, 4, 5 years old, that's really everything in its gas, but they want to electrify?
Sure. I think we caught the tail end of the last lightning talk, and I would say getting a home audit is probably your best bet, and kind of understanding what is available. I think for the audio, the question was for folks that have a new home, what should they do? And they have a gas furnace, for example, that's not that old. Totally reasonable. I think obviously we're not trying to create more waste, and so obviously understanding, I can live with this, these are the projects that we can adapt over time, is something to think about. And so luckily, we have a lot of resources on our website that will actually kind of piece by piece help build that electric ecosystem. I would be lying if I said this was, immediately accessible to everybody based on cost. Some of these things are quite expensive, and luckily the incentives help a lot with that. But saying, I'm going to do $100,000 worth of work to my home next week isn't really attainable for a lot of folks. And so piecemealing it out, understanding, here's what I can do now, here's maybe changes I can make. I know the technology has been shifting rapidly in terms of retrofitting and things like that, making other changes in different ways to electrify. Just kind of understanding what's out there is going to be really your first step.
Yeah. I would also add that we're trying to reach people before they've gone all gas, and so once the lifetime of your products are coming to an end, or they're expiring in the next few years, you can start making your plan for how you're going to buy your next furnace, because maybe I think furnace lifetime is 20 years or something, so you might not just want to replace that right away. And so sometimes we're also spacing these things out so that you can replace one thing per year, so it's not all up all at once into such a big upfront cost. Yeah.
So I noticed you mentioned renters and homeowners. When you go into the category of homeowners, is there ever any differentiation between a condo owner and versus a standalone family home? I think I might have looked at
Yeah.
the website once a while
We-
back, and
we do.
there wasn't a whole lot yet, but they're coming soon.
Yeah, so the question was for the camera, if you have a condo or if you're a renter, on the website, are there still options available? So I would say that the majority is for homeowners in houses, but we do have some for condos, and we have a few things for renters as well. But I would say it's more geared towards a homeowner, just because you have that autonomy to make your own decisions. And if you're a renter, sometimes you don't, but you can still have these conversations with your landlord. And for me, I rent, but my dryer is going out, so I'm going to be having that conversation soon with mine. So yeah, there's still things you can do.
Yeah, I'll also hop in here. We've actually had a number of conversations today, and my time at Rewiring America, many folks have brought this to my attention. It's maybe I'm in a group of 8 condos, for example, and I'm building relationships with my neighbors about, hey, we should all go do this, and then helping your neighbors kind of understand the different things that are available so that they can save money and go electric. And so having that conversation, some people like talking to their neighbors, no pressure, but but really part of our work is just equipping folks with the language to be able to talk to others as well. And so really making sure that you can let your the people in your community and your neighbors know, hey, we really want to do this, but in order to do that, maybe we need to upgrade our electrical panel, or we need to install different things that will enable us to have a heat pump in our own home. Easier said than done, I fully acknowledge, but definitely something that a number of folks have come up to us today even and said, I talked to my neighbors in my little condo, and we're all talking about it, and so that's also something to explore for folks.
You were mentioning earlier, like that 3 to 5 year window.
Oh, yeah. So part of our work, about a year ago, we've released what we call the Pace of Progress report. This is a view over the next, 50 years of how we electrify 1 billion machines, I think is the number. Yeah,
Yeah.
billion. It's a lot of electric machines. And so our research team has done a ton of work around understanding that in the next 3 to 5 years, many folks' gas and fossil fuel appliances are going to be, coming apart. They're going to start breaking. And so this is really that window, again, in those next 3 to 5 years, where we have a tremendous opportunity for folks to know about resources like the Personal Electrification Planner, resources like what Electrify PDX is doing, and all of the other awesome folks in the other room, what they're doing, so that we can really get on pace to be fully electric in the next 50 years. Just be mindful that a lot of folks, their stuff is going to start dying. I have plenty of peers that bought a new water heater in the last year or two, and they went fully electric. And I don't know, it's been really great. So, question.
Could you give some details on how you vet the contractors that make this site?
Yeah, go ahead.
How do we vet the contractors that make it to the site?
That's something we're actually figuring out. We're having a lot of conversations about that. We're meeting with different companies that are contracting companies to figure out how's the best way to reach them and how do we do this. Because our priority is the experience of the people that are electrifying. We want this to, like a lot of what we're relying on is word of mouth. So we need to make sure that everybody's having a really great experience. And so our contractors that we're recommending, like, we do want to make sure that they're up to a higher standard, and I think that process is still being configured. I mean, this is all very new, and we're still new, so it's a work in progress. But we do have a contractor network that is up now that I think it's just very small, but we're building it up as we go.
Yeah, and I know we're running out of time, so I'll just say also to that, with contractors, we're kind of taking a lot of folks that are raising their hands. We've got a lot of folks out there that are really excited and passionate about this, and so we want to leverage the excitement from other contractors. So, a lot of folks come to us a lot, and they help us build that contractor network that was mentioned, and so we're not turning away too many folks, I guess, at this point. I will say, I think we're out of time, but we're hanging out by the giant press. I know a lot of people have seen that, so we want to go another 5 minutes?
2-3 minutes.
Okay.
What's the address for that site?
It's rewiringamerica.org, and if you want to do the Personal Electrification Planner, where you set up your own profile and keep track of the projects that you want to do and that you've already done, that one is homes.rewiringamerica.org. Yeah.
What was it again?
homes.rewiringamerica.org, but if you get to rewiringamerica.org, then you can find the rest from there. Yeah.
Sorry. Also on the electrification planner, single family homes for sure. Do you have any plans for landlords or homeowners who have rentals that they might want to also electrify, different types of incentives? Because I know might not qualify as a C.
I actually don't know that answer.
I'm not entirely sure. That's a really good. The question was about folks that own multiple homes or landlords, things like that. That's a great question. I actually don't know the answer to, unfortunately, but we should have some incentives available for folks. I imagine, let's poke around the calculator together if you'd like to. And definitely worth noting. And I will say that a large part of our work, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be, financing and working with mortgage lenders that want to do, green mortgages, electrification mortgages, and things like that. So there's a lot of moving pieces there, but we're hoping to kind of bring that picture all together and make it easier for folks in general. So. Like I said, we're all hanging out by the large press. We've got a lot of fun stickers and magnets and things like that. So thanks for listening.
Is that limited just add, electrifyoregon.org has a contractor database. All the contractors here are in that database. And Electrify Now, who's also here, has a webinar coming in the next month called How to Choose an HVAC Contractor. They're out there, they'll have that information.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.